as homeschool moms, we also put our kids' mental and emotional and social needs above academics, and sometimes that's necessary and it makes us feel uncomfortable. If that's you and you're like, I know I should, but I feel guilty about it, you are who I'm for. Hey, on today's homeschool vlog, I'm going to take you behind the scenes into one of our real homeschool days that I had for all on purpose intended to take on math struggles head on. But instead, I just tuned into what I felt like God was talking to me about and tuned into my son's emotional needs. And tell you what happened when we put down the academics and I pivoted to prioritizing his mental and emotional well-being. I want to show you the power that you have as a homeschool mom to open up possibilities and truly nurture your child from the inside out. Come along with me. Hey mamas, this is my homeschool vlog of the homeschool day that doesn't go as expected. As not just moms, but as teachers, educators, we lean into what our children need for the day, not just academically, but emotionally. And so I had initially was going to talk about math struggles. We're going to do some math today. And I'm just going to be really honest. Sometimes that doesn't go as planned. And that's because as homeschool moms, we also put our kids' mental and emotional and social needs above academics, and sometimes that's necessary and it makes us feel uncomfortable. So if that's you and you're like, I know I should, but I feel guilty about it, I don't quite know how to do it, I'm sharing my day with you today. You are who I'm for. And if you are getting a little stuck on like what homeschooling should look like or the routine you're trying to build, you're just getting a little stuck on creating a homeschool flow, I have a quiz for you below. You can go ahead and take that. It's called What's Blocking Your Homeschool Flow? And no matter your answer, I give you a resource right away that you can use to help you get your homeschool flow back. Come back here. Show me the thing you made. So we were going to be doing, slow down. Side project he started this weekend of making paper weapons. And I suggested that he paint them. Will you bring it a little closer so we can see your project, buddy? He did some painting. Here, let me go like this. And this is made out of paper, not cardboard. He folded all of this and then painted all of this. And I think that is let me hand you your sword, sir.
Maybe you shouldn't hold it from that end.
Yeah, maybe not. I think that's worthy of his time. So I just want to be honest with you moms. I really did intend on doing math this morning. And I was like prepared for tears because math usually brings tears. And I have been having a hard time with my 8-year-old, which is the child I usually have a hard time with. He's the one on rollerblades. We're very similar. That's the big problem. In all transparency, like I was doing my prayer time this morning and I asked God, like, I have these concerns like float around in my mind and my heart, and I'm like not even going to say them out loud because I don't want to give life to them. And they're not coming to pass, but they are things I believe that the enemy comes in and tempts me with to think and to, I don't know, somehow manifest in the way I react. And so I just prayed about what I needed to do for my 8-year-old, and he said, snuggle him and love on him and do things that like nurture him. And he's such a creative kid. And so when I left my office this morning, I was done with work, well, not done, but taking a break, I saw him continuing on with the project and just loving it and enjoying it, and his dad encouraging him in it. And so instead of forcing math, which we'll probably end up doing still, but we're not going to do math and language arts, we're just going to do math. And so that's what we ended up doing today because I genuinely needed to nurture his whole self, like his heart, his creativity, tell him he's doing a good job. We've been having really hard days. Just show him how he's smart, how he's strong, how he's creative, and really just love on him in that way. So that's what we're doing today. We'll probably get to the math part, which if we do, I'll share, but that's what we're up to today. You've got to get to math. You're still going to do math today. Okay. I'm okay with letting you drop language arts, but you're going to do math today, okay?
Okay.
So I want to give you an update on how our day has been going. Now, my oldest did all of his school, but it's summertime, so it was like math. He's working on his YouTube project. And then it's Spanish. He's really enjoying Spanish. So he did that. My oldest, so my second oldest, he did his math, which he got 3 of the problems wrong. He went back and corrected them. That's our flow. He's finishing up Lord of the Rings now, and he also worked on some writing. Right now he's finishing up writing a play, which has been a very interesting thing for him because he's only seen one play live and doesn't quite understand the concept of dialogue. Anyway, so that's been really, really fun to kind of walk him through that. And then number 3, after we came inside from rollerblading, he worked on his projects a little bit more. I said, buddy, we're going to need to do some math today. And he was like, oh. It was really, he's sad about that. I wouldn't say he was upset. But the good news is he was watching his video, eating some lunch, and then he came and did something he hasn't done for a little while, which he kind of grabbed my arm and he went, I love you. I was like, oh, I love you too, buddy. Is there something you wanted to tell me about? Which normally I would try to push him off and okay, I gotta get back to work. But I'm working on being very intentional right now. And I said, is there anything you want to tell me about or something you need? And he was like, no. And then my littlest one comes in because, of course, I'm giving attention and he wants it. And I very eagerly give it to him. There was a little skirmish between the 8-year-old and the 5-year-old. But what my 8-year-old ended up saying was, oh, Mommy, I want you to snuggle me. And so we spent probably about 5 minutes doing that. And he's like, okay, I think I'm ready. And he's been moving through his math a lot. I wouldn't say faster as in when he started, had I not snuggled him, right? So let's say he started at 10 a.m. and I didn't snuggle him and he was distracted and distressed and going just staring out into space and then crying about it and all these different things. It's been about the same amount of time and a lot less stressful. So it's just really encouraging to me to share that, because when we get intentional, not every day, I've been intentional before and it didn't turn out like this, but when we do get intentional, we can really start seeing shifts. And I think a big thing for us that also was helping him specifically today, Daddy was really on board with just recognizing his strength and thinking his craft project was really cool and just encouraging him in it. Sometimes, dads care, and so they come down a little hard on their sons. And he's still a tender heart, and so I think that also helped set us up for success because he felt very encouraged by Daddy this morning, and now he just keeps getting encouragement from me, although he did burp in my face accidentally and that was gross. But boys, take it or leave it. I don't know about you, but I can sometimes feel guilty, and I mean I can do this to our detriment as well, but I can sometimes feel guilty by choosing my child's mental and emotional well-being over academics. And we're a very academically oriented family. Academics are a very high priority for us. And so I can feel guilty by oh, we're not doing the book work. We should be putting in the work. And then I remember when I was going through a hard time as a kid and how that wasn't noticed and that wasn't well received, and nobody was there to walk through me for those things as I struggled. And I know I want to give my child something different. I want to give him something better. I want to walk through these hard things with him. And so, I am not here just to develop my son's mind and critical thinking. I am here to develop him as a whole person. And that doesn't always look like bookwork. Really get in tune with your vision as a homeschool mom and thinking about, okay, what do I want to create with my homeschool? I'm trying to get away from the lawnmower. The tree's eating me. Sometimes that means that you do need to push through academics. Sometimes that means you do need to be a little bit pushy and stretch them in the form of academics or getting through the math lesson, growing their resilience and their perseverance. Like that, those are muscles and we need to work them, and it hurts sometimes. There is that. And then there are times where it's like, whoa, let's grow an emotional regulation. And that emotional regulation, learning how to move through hard things, doesn't help when we add more stressors. If there is stress, like high stress or high anxiety or high just like negative emotions, usually adding more isn't going to help. We need to pause and help them work through this hard. And then once we help them work through that hard, we can then navigate it a little bit more quickly next time. And so emotional regulation is really important to me as a homeschool mom because I've had to learn it as an adult. It was really freaking hard. And so I'm just really thankful that I get the opportunity to do this for my kids. What are you doing, weirdo? Hi. Can we go see your creation? Are you done with your rainbow?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, let's go see it. Let's see this rainbow. Ooh, what a nice rainbow you have. I like the pink. We're feeling very pink today, aren't we? Looks good. I have just a couple of thoughts to share as I close the day that I noticed about my son, the one who's been having a hard time. And we decided to not focus very much on school, but we focused on his art projects. And I really chose to listen to him today. So, he came in and he talked to me, but he was much more calm throughout the whole day. And he ended up finishing his math with his dad. So I don't know how that went, if there were tears or not. There weren't tears. He was just so much more calm. I don't remember hearing his brothers be annoyed with him today. And that's like a multiple day occurrence, typically. Before we were going to jujitsu, he came and talked to me like he often does. And he says, Mommy, I don't want to do jujitsu today. And I was like, buddy, we got to figure out why you keep asking me. It's like, it's not okay. He's like, well, I'll still do it on Friday. And Friday is very much like playful game day. I was like, well, it's not okay for you to just go to game day. Like, you need to learn the actual skill too. And so it's not that he wants to go there. He just didn't want to go. And before he hadn't articulated why well. But I told him, I was like, hey, we need to figure this out. We need to talk about it. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you yet. And this time he was able to articulate it so much better. And it made me like sad for him because he's said this before and I don't doubt it, but it just didn't land with me what he was trying to tell me before. And I said, okay, buddy, what don't you like? He's like, I don't like the way it feels on my body. And that's only sometimes. I said, okay, why do you feel that way today? He's like, well, my body hurts. Like, my ankle really hurts. I was like, oh, your ankle really hurts? He's like, yeah. So, okay. And he's actually, the last few weeks, had like growing pains. Like I'm feeling really sore and asking for medicine before he goes to bed. I said, okay, well, your ankle hurts. Anything you said, like you feel like your body hurts. What are you talking about with your body? It's like, well, it feels like there's pins all over my body, like needles all over my body. And I'm like, I know how that feels. That sucks. And so he's never been able to articulate it well to me before. And he's like, yeah, this is what it feels like when I don't want to do jujitsu. And I was like, but why haven't you told me? And he just hasn't. So there's a couple of things in play here. One, he's an 8-year-old boy and he's learning to communicate. And kids don't have words for certain things. Like, that's not their fault. They're just developing. They just don't know. And so there's a piece of that he just didn't have the language to describe. But also, I don't think before he had the emotional space to explore. Oh my goodness. I'm so red. The bar kept hitting me. He didn't have the emotional language to explore like the sensations he was feeling in his body, because he feels at a very like high, everything feels intense to him. He's very sensitive. And so he hasn't been able to like have emotional space from the heightened emotions to experience what the signals in his body. And I don't know, I know this feeling, and this feeling sucks. And like when we get overwhelmed as moms and we're overwhelmed with emotions, we've missed body cues that our body is like red light, warning. But we get so caught up in our emotions, we're like stuck. And it really sucks when your emotions are so high you can't tell what's physically going on. And so I think that would be my interpretation of what's been going on with him. He hasn't been able to tell me he feels like there's pins all over his body and his ankle really hurts because he hasn't had the space from his emotions to process it. So I make this point because so often we are quick to push the academics. So often we are quick to like to say, muscle up, buttercup, let's push through. And it's not because we don't value connection time. It's not because we don't value building emotional resilience. It's not because we don't value like teaching our kids how to emotionally regulate and helping them navigate their physical sensations and their emotional sensations. We do it because we feel guilty prioritizing those things. Because there's so much pressure on homeschool moms to get it right, to prove themselves, to be a legitimate educator, and we give into that pressure too much, and we don't follow our mom gut. We don't follow our mom lead. Like, I'm so glad I followed my mom lead today. And honestly, if I'm being frank, like yes, there was my mom heart, my mom intuition tied into it, but the direction I took today was from my quiet time with the Lord and him giving me very specifics of what to do with this son. And so I truly want to encourage you that you have what you need in order to homeschool and mom well, be a mother educator. You have what you need. We just need to trust it instead of giving way to the pressure that society is putting on us. And honestly, I don't think that it's prominent in homeschool moms, but I think moms in general feel this and will push academics activities rather than emotional regulation or emotional resilience, or like, hey, let's pause and see what your body is telling us because we're too freaking busy. I'm not going to get on my pedestal, my soapbox for the busy thing. I gotta do that this video, but I really truly want to encourage you that you have what you need to homeschool mom well, and you know what you need to do. You're just not trusting it because the pressure feels so overwhelming, and you might have been stuck in urgency for so long. You don't know how, like, you don't feel physically capable of not responding to the pressure and the urgency. And that's something we need to learn as homeschool moms, is emotional regulation and building our emotional resilience and in tuning into our body's physical sensations so we don't hit burnout. Like, those are things we need. And so anyways, there's so much I want to say about this, but if you've ever felt overwhelmed as a homeschool mom, you feel like, she's speaking my language. This is the information that I need. I just don't know how to get it. This book that I wrote, Overwhelmed, A Homeschool Mom's Rescue Plan for Peaceful Routines, is not just like the technical pieces of how to build a peaceful routine. It's about all the emotional junk that goes with it and the stories we tell ourselves and the guilt we feel. That's what this book is about. So I just really want to encourage you that if you need help navigating the experience that you're having as a homeschool mom, or you're feeling overwhelmed or burnt out, or you're like, this isn't what I want to create, but I have no idea what I want. Or if you feel like this isn't what I want and I need to start creating what I want, but I don't even know what that is anymore, get this book. This book will change your life. just a happy little reminder, below is the What's Blocking Your Homeschool Flow quiz. And if when you take that, I will give you a free resource that matches what's blocking your homeschool flow. So just click the link below and take the quiz. Yeah, quizzes are fun, but I'll send you a resource that'll be really helpful to your specific situation. I would love to hear from you in the comments about what about this video resonated with you. Like, you're like, I need that. I want to know more about that. That's so right. What hit you and what insight did it leave you with? What are you going to change knowing this information moving forward? Tell me in the comments below. And if you're feeling a little lost, again, just share that in the comments, because I'm a coach. I want to help guide you. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What resonated and what are you going to do differently because of it?